Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England stream. And well, today I have got an awesome game. It is between GoOdy in the lower left position as the red Terran player and RainMan, the blue Zerg, in the top right. Now, for those of you who do check out my channel every single day of the week for every one of my new lit videos, well, you may notice my voice is still a little bit ouchy. And as a result of that, I sound a bit manly and a bit peculiar. So I do apologize, but obviously since I started up in January, and this is actually quite amazing, I have managed to get up over a game average a day. Like, I started up in January 2012, it is currently December 2012, and I have 630 uploaded videos. So I'm gonna actually aim to try and get, well, I don't think I'm gonna manage 720 and 2 a day average, but I'm gonna get pretty close, I reckon. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I set myself that target and I'm getting great response, so I'm really glad you guys seem to be enjoying it. And of course, if you are, do leave me comments, let me know that you like it, just so obviously I keep that motivation up to keep going. But of course I would anyway, but I shouldn't tell you that because I love comments. I also love tweets. If anyone tweets me, that would be completely awesome. Gotta love tweets. Anyway, what's this GoOdy? Oh, GoOdy, you're going for a proxy wax. It's just the one. It's just the one proxy wax at the moment. It's not too far out either. It's out of the way of scouting as well. There's no way an Overlord would ever come over here. Yeah, it is just the one Rax. This is GoOdy. What are you doing? Basically, if this Overlord comes over, it's going to think it's command center first. We may actually see GoOdy follow this up with a command center. Meanwhile, we've got RainMan chucking down the hatchery. That's all cool because, well, 15 hatch is what you do. We then see a 16 pool, so pool should come down as soon as the Zerg player gets up to that 200 minerals in order to build it. But, well, look at this GoOdy. What are you doing, GoOdy? GoOdy, you're getting the second supply depot. GoOdy. This is gonna be so seriously swishing. Actually, RainMan going for gas before pool, and of course with a proxy racks, that's gonna be a bit irritating, isn't it? Because you're suddenly gonna have units at your base, and you are not gonna be in a good position to deal with those. We've got the SCV coming across the map, so well, obviously I'm thinking bunkers could be chucked down. Meanwhile, we've got the SCV coming down, and of course this Overlord is gonna say, "Hang on, guys." Oh dear. Oh dear, there is no command center down. That does not usually mean much fun for me. We've got a second SUV being built. The bunker is there. The drone's already on the way down because, of course, the Overlord there, ready to see everything. So this should get shut down pretty easily, actually. Now, this is how you respond to this as a Zerg player. You pull your drone and you're just like, well, guess what? I'm not going to let you put a bunker down. Mine from the natural base. And just be like, no, no bunker. Go away, SCVs and Marines. No, I'm going to come and mine a bit. Calm and mind a bit, but then of course, back come the SCVs. They're going to be very, very irritating. They are going to try and shield that Marine to allow him to get a bit more of extra fire off, but that one SCV taking quite a few hits. This is annoying. We've got 8 more Zerglings on their way down at the moment, and of course, well, 8 Zerglings deal with things relatively easily, so we're waiting to see exactly what damage is done. Meanwhile, we've got the command center coming down. It's completing the full wall off. We've got the double gas following up the barracks. Floated back up to safety. Meanwhile, this Overlord slightly exposed, but should be able to get back with no problem at all against just 3 Marines. And already we see there RainMan being like, nope, you are not going to be doing that. We've got a cancel there on the spine crawler. We've got a couple more Zerglings on their way down. And obviously, now just going back to droning, getting the queens out, everything fairly normal. We're nearly up to 100 gas, so we should then see Zergling speed. We've only got the one drone there at the moment. There we go, Zergling speed on its way, and well, this isn't going to do any damage. This is the problem with going for a lot of Zerglings. Meanwhile, we've got third command center. The reason it's not going to do any damage is because of this wall off, and you can't get through a wall off with just Zerglings. You need Banelings if you're going to do that, because otherwise these Marines will just be like pow pow pow, and that'll be the end of it. You can pull SCVs, repair, and indefinitely survive as a turn. But this second command center is, or third command center rather, really good choice in my opinion, because let's face it, you've got economically behind from the opening you've gone for, so why not just follow up with getting a good economy going into the mid game. Meanwhile, we've still got just that one drone in gas, just happily mining away, seeing what it can get out. Looking here, obviously the orbital command morphing. We've got the factory following up the reactive. Interesting to see whether we will get Banshees. Obviously we do have the double gas, so I think it's very likely we'll see Heli and Banshee. Meanwhile, this Overlord spread, really nice. Potentially a bit risky having that one there, but looking up here, everything going where it wants. You've got more queens on the way out, only the one for the moment of RainMan. Would like to have seen the double queen production. There we go. Third queen in production as well. That's a great choice, because ultimately that just means that you can start chucking down those creep tumors, which is oh so strong. And on a map as wide as Cloud Kingdom, you really need a lot of creep tumors in order to cover it very well. And here we go. Obviously Starport on its way. We've got the second factory, so it's going to be a mech build out of GoOdy at the moment. That barracks there purely just to start off getting out a lot more of those lovely lovely add-ons for all the rest of the buildings. The third command center actually going to the natural. I think that's a good choice. Lifting again, not quite. Don't miss your spot. You want to land in the right place. You'd not believe the amount of difference that means. The orbital command going. The reason he floated that one down as opposed to this one is he now keeps his wall off for the time being, which is good for him. The lair on its way. We have the first Hellions hitting the field. We've got the additional gas thrown down. The evolution chamber just finished, but of course the big problem is the RainMan is going to need to take his third base very, very soon, because otherwise he is going to run into some problems. These speedlings are just keeping a good eye around, keeping a good scout down. Obviously no scouting information around this side of the base until all the way back here, which could run into a few problems, but it shouldn't matter too much. We do have the Banshee coming down. No cloak though. That's really important to see that, because obviously cloak is a much bigger commitment and you really need spore crawlers to deal with that. Meanwhile, these couple of Zerglings do manage to get a surround on the Hellions, but they are getting cleaned up quite nicely and nothing goes down there. So for the moment, only stuff lost for RainMan. GoOdy still absolutely fine. Using that barracks to float up there to pick off the Overlord. That is a nice little trick which works very, very well, obviously, because the Overlord is always going to be there. And it's 100 minerals, it's a lava, and it potentially supply blocks your opponent. The creep spread on its way, it's getting going. We've got these Hellions coming to poke and prod in. Not much in the way of the defense, actually, and we could see some roasted drones right now. But no, it looks like GoOdy just happy to pull back. We've got the infestation pit on its way, because of course infestors are good units, as we all know. And Burrow coming down as well, so possibly some Burrow infestor play, which I really like. I think that's good harassment. Meanwhile, back here for GoOdy, he's getting down siege mode. He's getting up his tank count. He's happily just doing everything he wants, getting his third and fourth gas, his third command center, orbital command rather, just sitting there waiting. We've got good Hellion harass. The Banshee has been revealed though, so of course this is now going to be a relatively easy defend for RainMan as long as he is prepared. Those couple of Zerglings, well, it's not even a couple, a lot of Zerglings are coming around. They're going to get surrounded, and of course if they do manage to surround the Hellions, that'd be so bad. But good micro out of GoOdy for the time being. That Banshee taking quite a lot of fire, unfortunately. And if we look, it is only the one Banshee. No more are being produced for the time being. The starport essentially doing nothing. The worker count is always important. We're at 48 to 44, which actually means the Terran should have slightly better income, as we're seeing here. That's just due to mules being really good at mining, obviously, and as a result, GoOdy, I'd say he is thoroughly ahead right now. We've got a lot of unit build up here. The third base is just starting now for RainMan. Pathogen glands nearly finished up. The first infestors on their way. +1 ground carapace on its way. We've got the second evolution chamber coming out, so double upgrades will be incoming for the Zerg player. Looking down here, the Overseer obviously getting a complete scout off, some missile turrets there, ready to deal with all of it. And of course this is just a good scout. You've seen pretty much everything you need. The only thing you didn't see was the additional factories, but the fact you've seen two, you know it's mech, so that's absolutely fine. Meanwhile, obviously back up for RainMan, we've got the third hatchery coming down. We've got quite a few more Zerglings. We've got really just a defensive position. He was clearly overcommitting to this, and some burrowed infestors going out, and I love burrowed infestors, but missile turrets are down. Now where are those missile turrets? We've got one here, none at the front. Oh, we do. Missile turret here. Double siege tank. Those burrowed infestors, well, they are going to die so hard. I feel really bad for them. All they want to do is go and have a beach ball party, but they're not going to be able to. And that, of course, absolutely terrible. Macro hatch on its way down. No fourth base yet. Obviously, just feels a little bit concerned. But, well, goodbye, infestors. You had one job. Unfortunately, it's not going to go too well for you. Those poor infestors, one gets sniped off, and for the moment, RainMan really struggling to do any damage, as you can see. Only having killed 225 resources of his opponent, and GoOdy doing considerably more than that. A lot of Zerglings on their way over, though, and obviously they just want to shield those infestors coming back. They want to make sure they do get back home safely. Looking up here, the macro hatch half done. We've got a couple more infestors on their way out. We've got Viking production started. We've got, well, Hellions coming out. We've got the first Thors hitting the field. We've got the double armory upgrades potentially going down soon. And looking here, we've got obviously the infestors pulling back. We've got more missile turrets coming down for GoOdy. He knows his opponent is perfectly happy to go for those horrible burrowed infestors into his base. We've got more missile turrets giving the detection. Therefore, we've got the 1-1 vehicle weapons and armor coming down. We've got the 1-2 upgrades for melee Zerg, as well as road speed. Hive starting, 30-minute hive. Fairly normal timing there. The macro hatch nearly finished up. Got a few more Zerglings just coming around, spreading out. Great map awareness for RainMan at the moment. That's the big plus for him. Looking here though, the third base happily up for GoOdy. He's getting a more sizable force, and he's actually quite ahead in the supply lead. And obviously, against mech, you want to have a lot more army. Mech becomes really dangerous for Zerg when you start getting closer to the 200 of 200. So that is something that you do have to be aware of. You have to try and shut it down earlier. But of course, RainMan's tried to go for those infested Terrans, but GoOdy just getting detection everywhere, has denied it. Changelings streaming across the map, making sure they get good information. The fourth base just starting up now. Hive about half done, so obviously Hive tech units are pretty scary to deal with, but the Viking production already started, and because there was a later Hive, we're probably going to see RainMan go straight up towards Broodlords, but considering he hasn't started his, as I say, he hasn't started his Spire, he just started. I was going to say, usually you want to start the Spire at the same time, because it's obviously 100 seconds to build each of both the Hive and the Spire, so you want to get them done simultaneously so you can start the Greater Spire straight away. But good fungal growth goes down on those Hellions. Not good control though of letting the Infested take a couple of hits. We've got Zergling run by coming down here, but to be honest, this is really good placement. A couple of tanks unsieged though, and they're all unsieging now. This could be a bad time, obviously, if they move out and the Zergling run by comes in. This third base is going to get decimated. Looking up though, what else have we got? We've got, well, not too much actually. It's all looking fairly good. And where is that Spire? Seriously guys, am I being blind, or can I just... There's a Spire going down. I just cannot see it for the life of me. There we go. There's the Spire. Sorry, being a bit blind there, but here we go. The mech army moving out. GoOdy now at 180 of 200. That is an awful lot of supply. We've got Infested Terrans getting locked down, trying to soak up some of the damage. A big engagement coming down for the time being. Of course, the Vikings are there. Banshees there. The Thors and Siege tanks do huge damage, and RainMan is getting absolutely crushed by this force right now. It was not a good engagement for him in the slightest, and well, those Infested Terrans did finally clean everything up, but to be honest, RainMan lost an awful lot himself, and well, here we go. We've got Zerglings coming in. The Zergling run by will be able to do an awful lot of damage, and this is really a big win for RainMan, hurting the economy behind all of this, and as a result, he's keeping himself in the game for the time being. GoOdy, those Infested Terrans just ended up being a bit too much, but the Hellions coming in now. They do have Blue Flame. Great fungal growth though, getting literally all of them, allowing the Zerglings to do a bit more damage, but of course chain fungals are going to be required. I'm surprised another one hasn't gone down yet. The energy very low. A couple of Infested Terrans getting thrown down for the time being. A lot of those Infestors are going to get sniped off. A great scan goes down by GoOdy for the time being. He's cleaned up the Zerglings at his third, and well, those Hellions getting into a very safe position in terms of the workers killed. 16 killed by RainMan compared to the 2 of GoOdy. That takes the worker count heavily into the Zerg's favour, but the fourth base trying to go down here at the moment for the Terror. Of course, Greater Spire on its way. The first Corruptors coming out, ready for the Broodlords. The 2-3 upgrades for Zerg Melee on its way. That's obviously going to help those Broodlings be really strong. More Thors on the way out, though. Obviously, the Viking count getting pretty damn high. Already at 3 in production at a time. That is going to help deal with those Broodlords. I'm not sure if a scan went off and did manage to see that. If we take a look at GoOdy's vision, no, he has no idea the Spire's there. And he does know the Hive's there though, so he's pretty happy. He can assume that it's going to be Broodlords because that's what everybody does, so that's fine. These Hellions still poking and putting quite a high count of Roaches. That's going to help deal with those Thors because of course Roaches are good against Thors. The Broodlords will prevent the tanks sieging up because otherwise they'll splash themselves, which is never something you want to happen. Looking down, we've of course got the missile turret en route. We've got more cast coming down. GoOdy needs to be careful because while he did have a good lead, his engagement, while it started off great, he finally got cleaned up by all the Infested Terrans, which isn't too good for him. Looking down here, obviously, more Spine Crawlers coming down, preventing any drop play, any harassment. The fifth base on the way down for the Zerg player. But here comes the push, and well, this is a good number of units coming across the map right now. Of course, the Broodlords are on the field as well. What are we up at? We're at 6 Broodlords to 9 Vikings, but 3 Corruptors on the field. Need some more Corruptors if you're going to deal with that. And there we go. As if by magic, as if he heard me, he starts building them. So, of course, that is really good play. The +3 ground armor on already down for RainMan, the +3 melee attack on its way, as well as the +1 flyer weapons. Meanwhile, upgrades for GoOdy, it's 2-1 on mech and 0-0 for air, although we do have the 3-2 for mech on its way, so that is fine. Meanwhile, RainMan's got a good force up here, a good siege position though. He's going to need to wait for those Broodlords. Those Broodlords are going to just be able to decimate most of this force, and to be honest, this is going to be tough. The Viking position is going to have to be good. GoOdy needs to be exceptionally careful not to get fungal though. That is really the important thing. A scan going off to get the vision to the high ground, trying to allow those tanks to do some damage, but of course they are just going to siege the Broodlords, the Broodlings. The Broodlords are moving a bit forward. They don't want to overexpose themselves, but the Vikings do come up, but a great fungal growth. Gets so many Vikings there. Needs to chain fungal, that's the important thing. And well, we've got a big engagement going on. For the moment, the Broodlords are taking quite a bit of damage, but the Vikings getting cleaned up very well. A transfuse needs to go down, and that is a big mistake from RainMan, not getting that transfuse until very late. Losing 2 Broodlords, he could have kept them up, which would have, of course, put him in a great position. But for the moment, RainMan being forced to pull down. More Corruptors coming in. We've got a couple of Hellions up on the high ground here. just trying to snipe off anything they can do. But look at this, a lot of Zerglings on the roof. The 5th base up. Meanwhile, we've got the 5th command center down for GoOdy. That'll probably morph into an orbital command. We've got an Ultralisk Cavern getting chucked down now. Where's that? There we go. So Ultras are going to be coming, and this is the opposite way you usually see it. Usually you see Ultras into Broodlords, if you can see Ultras at all, not Broodlords into Ultras. But here we go. We've got GoOdy moving forward, and the supplies are very, very equal, but so many Corruptors out, but only 2 Broodlords. That could cause some problems, and well, this is pretty hectic. Watch, so many infested Terrans, though. The Broodlords, 1 does still remain up. It is getting taken down, more morphing in, and well, obviously for the moment, it is looking, although the Terran player, he has still got units up, but of course the supply through RainMan a lot higher. He is just remaxing on an awful lot of Zerglings. He's also getting up some more Broodlords rather, and of course this is forcing GoOdy to move back. The extra Broodlords will help massively. He does have the superior numbers with the Corruptors as well. That means the Vikings are going to struggle to deal with GoOdy forced back, and this is a real grudge match fight right now, because neither player able to really get the dominating winning blow. But here we go. No, we don't go. Those Zerglings pulling back, and that's the right move. Sees that force is a little too big. In terms of income right now, obviously RainMan with the better income. He's got a lot more workers, 78 to 58. He's also up at 5 bases. He's got the extra 2 gas, therefore, meaning he's got a lot of stuff on the field. 5 Broodlords morphing in. Needs to keep the Corruptor count up, though, because 5 Vikings are down to the 7 Corruptors. And, of course, the fungal growth will help, but that's only if GoOdy clumps up again. That fungal growth on Vikings was brilliant before. And, well, here we go. We've got a bit of engagement. Those Corruptors coming. Got a great fungal growth, and GoOdy really does stack up those Vikings. Got to be careful of that. For the Broodlords, they are pushing forward. And, guys, I think this engagement may just be it. The Zerglings get us around. The Broodlords are able to rain down a lot of pain right now, and GoOdy is getting cleaned up, and there is the GG. So RainMan came back from what was GoOdy in a good position. I think GoOdy lost that quite badly, just through some bad engagements, but also there, I don't know if you saw it on stream, but RainMan GG'd as well, so that is good manners on all part. And well, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, of course, please subscribe, leave a cool comment, like the video, and I will catch you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thanks for watching, and bye.